December air, sharp and cold, a story waiting to be told. We gather round with fading light, seeking truth to make things right. From every mountain, every shore, we're knocking on justice's door. Oh, we the people hear the call, let freedom ring, stand tall. This in these coming days. Let truth like a river flow. Some promises were left to break. For every dreamer wide awake burns a lesson that the heart learns. From every valley, every door, we're asking, what are we fighting for? Oh, we the people hear the call, every opportunity stands now like a switch from justice and legal. From every valley, every door, we're asking, what are we fighting for? Oh, we the people hear the call, every opportunity stands now like a switch from justice and legal flow. For the silenced and the lost, we remember the cost. For the future we must build a promise to be fulfilled. Seeking justice, let truth flow. We the people, let it snow, let it snow, let justice.
Well, good afternoon, every single person that has joined the live. I appreciate you being here. New month. Happy December to every single one of you. New music, new content, new discussions. This is a fantastic new month, and I am excited to be here today. I'm about to blow it off. I'm about to be spicy as ever. This December 2nd, 2025 is going to be amazing. And when I say LFG, I mean let's freaking go. You are not going to want to miss this. First off, let's just do a couple of hellos because it is going to get wild up in here. So wild. Everyone on the internet that follows the Idaho 4 case. Let me take a drink of water. They are going to be talking about this stream for weeks. We are such the trendsetter here. I'll tell you, I talk about it, it gets out, people start taking notice. I'm not the only one, but I'm telling you, people are watching. Hello, Lulu Bell, and welcome to the stream. Caleb, my trusty mod, so good for you to be here. I am so thrilled to see you, Brenda. Amanda, another godsend, I will say. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, Mama, Rebecca, Amelia, Dina. What is this? Buffalo Chick 1974. Love your name. Hello, hello. Good afternoon and welcome in. Everybody, tell your family, tell your friends. Phoenix is live. She's going to get spicy and hot today, and you are going to gasp when I show you what I have uncovered. Karen, welcome in. Welcome in. And make sure to share this. Hit the thumbs up just very quickly. I have to do all those housekeeping things. Watch you often, but first live. Welcome in, Stacy Dean 5578. You are so welcome. I am so thrilled that you are here. Grab your snacks, grab your coffee, grab whatever it is you need while catching you live. I love your wonderful channel. Thank you, Grace Kirk 1922. Welcome freaking in today, because you are not going to believe what I uncovered. Holy freaking moly. You know, I love it. Last night, I don't know if you guys watch Birdie. Birdie and I started out together on the streets, the wild, I want to say censored streets of TikTok. And we got our message through. And we brought it over to YouTube. I was on his channel last week. Boy, I will tell you, after not being with Birdie for almost, I would say probably a good month solid, different followers, different vibes, different feelings. Love Birdie. He is an amazing, outstanding guy. We both have amazing backgrounds, both entrepreneurs. We love helping others. But I'll tell you, last night, if you didn't watch his stream, it was phenomenal. And I am so thrilled that, DA, Devil's Advocates, he mentioned me, and I sure appreciate him. I've shouted him out before in some of his videos. If you have not seen Birdie's live last night, go watch it. DA took a walk through Moscow. We're going to be talking a little bit about to that today. So shout out to DA. And I'm going to just give you a disclaimer real quick. Welcome to Phoenix Talks. I'm Phoenix, your host. Here we rise above assumptions and rumors. We stay curious. We ask those questions, and we think with open minds. Every question matters. Every angle is welcome. Nothing is off limits. So if you think that way and feel that way, welcome home. This is where I, Phoenix, spark the fires of curiosity. Now, I will say this. Yeah, I agree with you. Last night's show was phenomenal. It was really good. Hope you grabbed a good snack, Amanda. Um, so, I have a daughter named Amanda. I didn't know if anybody knows that. And I almost said Amanda Banana. So I apologize if I ever call you that, just so you know that. And so, one of the things I want to start with this morning is just something really, I mean, I've done speed round before, and we like those. And they're just interactive questions that I ask you, just drop what you think comes to mind. And I want to ask you, since we're going to be covering this today in the topic of the Idaho 4, and we're going to be going through some footage, and you're going to be like, no effing way. There's no freaking way I just saw what I saw. Get ready. Okay. I'm going to ask you 5 questions. Drop them below. They're not as spicy as normal. I mean, we can do a yes and no lightning round, but these are, hold on a minute. These are really quick. Okay. Here's a quick yes or no 5 questions. Do you think the blurring hides a person who was not mentioned in official reports? Just drop yes or no. If you can't respond, that's fine. But think about this as we go through these videos today. Does the redacted area look too large for what police claim they were protecting? Yes or no? Do you believe the blurring changes how we understand the timeline of events? Yes or no? Does the blurring appear inconsistent? Some parts are blurred heavily while others are barely at all. Yes or no? And the last one, do you think the public deserves to see the unblurred version due to the magnitude of this case? Yes or no? And for those of you just coming in that got notice, make sure that you hit that like and subscribe. Make sure that you hit the little bell so that you see when I am live. So I do see a lot of yeses, but I see a no or 2. And I want to go over those real quick, Miss Jess. And no. So 1, 2, 3. That was probably about 3. Do you believe the blurring changes how we understand the timeline of events? No. Well, I'm going to explain that to you today, because what you're going to see with your own human eyes that maybe some people don't see, and we think they're hiding something. Sometimes it is to hide, sometimes it's not to hide. It's that psychology behind the hiding. And one thing, I know you're driving. I know some people are just coming in. I know some people are at lunch right now. I know some people listen on the way home and they save the live. I really appreciate it, and I love the replay crew. Oh my gosh, you guys are so amazing. I don't know. The other day, you guys shared a live that I asked you to share with one person, and it kind of blew up. And that's exactly, we need more people. We need more eyes on this, because if they could get away with this, what else have they been getting away with? Think about that for a minute. If they could get away with this and they didn't think it was going to be so large, what else have they gotten away with? Who knows? I mean, if you start to think about who they is, much bigger and powerful than us, right? But when you start thinking about who they are, I think there's more of us, we the people, that can change this outcome. So when you start looking at these body cams that I'm going to give you today, and I'm just going to give you a teaser because I'm going to fully break it down, I want you to think of the questions that I just asked you. Okay. Now remember, when an overlay is on something they've redacted, it's not just for privacy. The redactions are not random. They actually follow patterns. And when you look closely at the blurring in the video, it is very strategic. It's not cosmetic, and these patterns jump out immediately. And I want to show you. Whenever a door or hallway or stairways leads into where a victim's body would be, obviously they blurred that before they cross the threshold. That means the redaction is positional, not based on the content in the frame. So when they blur entire zones of the home, not specific items, it usually means a body's in the room, blood pools or spatters would be visible, weapons or injury patterns are, in the camera's line of sight. So this kind of zone based blur tells you exactly where each victim's laying, or you may never see the bodies. Okay. And last night, I caught 3 or 4 issues in a body cam footage. And the redaction, sometimes, I'm going to give you this real quick before we look at this. Sometimes they're actually on personal items. So several items on floors, counters, beds are blurred, even though they're not graphic, folks. So like phones, journals, medicine containers, clothing piles, those are redacted for privacy, not gore redaction. There's no blood or gore there. And that usually happens when some items contain like names, medical info, items contain sexual or personal content, or they could paint an unconfirmed narrative. All right. So those types of redactions are more revealing than the visible footage. All right. So because they tell you what police think may be evidentiary or even sensitive. Okay. Now, some of these redactions can be, you can hold people legally responsible. Absolutely. Because they don't want us to see the blood and the gore. They don't want us to see the bodies per se, but they also don't want us to see certain things that could change the narrative, which I am about to give you a freaking fireball. What's a fireball?
Phoenix launches truth in blazing spheres, burning lives, dispelling all fears. Feel the blaze of unyielding light. Truth erupts, torches the night. Then comes the thunderous drop of fire, balls of fire, rising higher.
Okay, that was not the one I wanted to play, but you get the idea. I'm dropping a fireball right now because this changes the narrative. We already know by what I've shown you that Bethany and Dylan were not there. As of 2:00 a.m., there is no possible way in my mind, what I've showed you in pure speculation, but with facts and evidence, that there was no way that they could have been there at 2 a.m. 7 different witnesses. If you haven't watched that video, I will play the video for you so that we are not lost, that you know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, come on. Dylan wouldn't lie, would she? Let's just watch the video I made that sparked all this, and we will get right into the blur redactions. 7 witnesses, folks. Check freaking mate. Checkmate. All right, let's get moving today. Hopefully, everything will be working with us. I did Phoenix always like, because I do. Busted. Yeah, here we go.
Can you believe this? Let's listen to Dylan's statement that she made 11/17/2022, and let's look at the witness that can corroborate that there were 7 other people that knew what the truth was. Let's listen.
I remember, again, I was kind of out of it. I was drunk. At some point, I did go into my bed. I ended up sobering up, and she walked home. I told her she could get a ride, but she wanted to walk home. I was like, okay. Do you know what time that would have been? I don't know when she left. I mean, that was like a normal thing. Like, you were never worried in Moscow. It was normal just to walk home. I don't know what time I went to bed. I have no clue. I remember waking up somewhere around 2 and 2:30. Again, I don't fully remember. I heard Maddie and Kaylee come home. Again, the walls are pretty thin. Like, you can hear everything.
Now, this is a statement from a witness, KF, that was interviewed by Dustin Blaker in Sequence MPD 112. Basically, it says this was fresh on this witness's mind because it states that she contacted Dylan and Bethany on 11/12/2022, and Dylan arrived at a residence at 22:30, and Bethany arrived at a residence around 23:30. So that would be 10:30 and 11:30. They stayed at the house on Taylor Avenue with this witness until, 2 or 3 hours. So let's just say 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30. That would put them back at the residence at 1:30, which Dylan does state that. But then she says that she woke up just in the clip before between 2 and 2:30. Now, how could that be possible when this witness with Bethany and 3 or 4 other girls, add 4 onto that makes 6 witnesses, plus Dylan herself would be 7, that basically states I started to walk with them past the Whites sometime before 2 a.m. hours, but she could not positively tell me. Blank stated she stayed on Taylor and then turned around when she was not sure the route that they took home for she. Okay, I just want to clarify something real quick. So if Dylan and Bethany are out walking on Taylor and Kaylee and Maddie are about to be dropped off maybe somewhere on Taylor or in the vicinity of Taylor, I don't know if they were ever really dropped off at their house since there's no transparency with the statement from Eric Gower. So you're telling me that these girls are walking on Taylor, going back to King, and who were they looking for? Were these 7 girls going to confront Maddie and Kaylee? Is that what the goal was? Because then obviously the KF Fitzgerald, she basically says, well, I went the other way. And remember, if you watched Birdie last night, like I said, he's got a video at 11:17 that shows some people walking down the street and some people kind of turn the other way. Were those the girls that were walking out looking for Maddie and Kaylee for their arrival to come back home? That's just a thought and pure speculation. Just pay attention a little bit longer.
for sure, but felt they kept walking west on Taylor. So that would be toward King, west on Taylor toward King. Blank stated there was a group of 3 or 4 other females with Dylan and Bethany at this time. Wow. So Dylan herself says she's just waking up between 2 and 2:30 when people are seeing her walk around the town with other witnesses. So how could it be that she was actually at 1122 King Road when she factually wasn't?
So 6 against 2, maybe looking out, watching, waiting, reporting back. It is possible. Very possible. Because Dylan did say that when she went back home about 1:30ish, she let Murphy out. That means she went upstairs to Kaylee's room. And if Murphy was in the room, Murphy would have been let out on the balcony or let out to go potty outside. Now, puppies around his age, you probably have to take them out maybe every 2 to 3 hours. And this is something that everybody in the house, I guess, it looks like they all basically chipped in to do, because Murphy was so cute. Who would not want to be, taking care of Murphy, especially people who love animals. Speaking of people who love animals, one thing I'm going to get into real quick on Birdie's last night. If you did not see where factually, let me just grab this. I wasn't going to talk about this today, but let me just grab his live from last night. I want to show one thing that him and DA were talking about right at the end of DA's video. He's walking around. Here it is. Okay. He's walking around in the back of 1122. Okay. So let's just listen to what him and his wife catch on video. This is wild, you all. I have always believed this was Jeremy's dog. If you're wondering who Jeremy is, I'm going to show you who Jeremy is.
That was like the old stuff, right?
Hear the dog? That's Murphy.
Oh my God, that's the same bark.
Right?
That is the same bark. Does anybody remember who Jeremy was? Remember when Gunderson was walking around? I made these connections really quick. Gunderson body cam was walking around interviewing people on 1122 King Road and Queen Road. And when Gunderson was walking around, he went to go and canvass the area. And he goes to Jeremy's location. And I'm going to show you who Jeremy is. This, my friends, is Jeremy. And this is where he has his dog. Sign on the thing, waving hello. He can see right down in that house. He could see the balcony from his balcony. I think this is Jeremy, the law student. Does everybody remember him?
Hi there.
Hello.
I'm Sergeant Gunderson with the Moscow Police Department.
Okay.
We're investigating a crime next door.
Yeah, I got a vandal alert.
Okay. Did you happen to hear anything last night at all?
It's actually quieter than usual for a Saturday night. So,
Okay.
well,
Nothing.
usually have parties over there. But it was kind of quiet last night. Usually
Okay.
it didn't.
Okay, nothing out of the ordinary.
No. Notice anything last night?
Out of the ordinary, just college kids walking in the street.
What times about did that all happen?
I left for work around.
You stay.
Actually, What was it? Somewhere between 10:20 and 10:30.
Last night.
Could you take the door? I think something's burning on the stove. I smell it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you guys? What time do you get off work?
7:30 usually, but I got off a bit earlier, so like 7:15ish.
Okay, didn't notice
This is
anything.
the guy who recommends and mentions the panties and the wine cork. Remember this. And walking his dog.
Peculiar on the way home or
No,
anything?
I took the dog out this morning, and the only thing that I noticed was there's a bottle, a cork for wine, and 2 pairs of panties in the street.
Okay.
He goes, whoa, 2 pairs of panties in the street.
I think there
And
was
this
less
is the law student.
cars parked there at the house over there than normal.
Okay.
It's usually packed.
Okay. All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is the guy who lives with the girl and the boyfriend. Okay. If you've ever wondered in the ISP documents, who is this guy? This may be, in full speculation, this guy. Okay. Now, this is also the guy. You guys remember him? Let's listen.
So I didn't personally know any of the people that lived at that house. I had seen them going in and out of their house a couple of times as I would take my dog out to go to the bathroom. And ever since this incident happened, you know, I used to see people out in the field across from the apartment complex just playing with their dogs. But then after this happened, it seems kind of like a ghost town. The only people I really see are police and media.
And DA.
So it's just really strange that everyone in that neighborhood is sort of left for Thanksgiving early or just left for the rest of the semester or whatever their plans were. It's just odd to see that it's only police and media in there around there at this point. Yeah, so around noon on the Sunday that it happened, we all got the vandal alert to sort of stay sheltered in place. And then
around noon on Sunday when this happened. What? What did he just say? Listen.
To sort of stay sheltered in place. And then about an hour or two after that, an officer came by.
Let me go back a little bit. So around noon on the Sunday that it happened. What? Wait a minute. Did you guys hear this? This is the law student Jeremy with the dog that was walking around, found the panties, we can hear his dog bark. That may have been his dog on the 1112 security cam. He just said, so around noon on the Sunday that it happened. What happened?
Around noon on the Sunday that it happened, we all got the vandal alert to sort of stay sheltered in place. And then about an hour or two after that, an officer came by and went door to door along the front row of apartments, at least where I live, and just asked if we had any footage or if we had seen anything the night before, or if we had heard anything. And that's the only contact I've had so far was just that one time that the officer came by. Most part, so what you can see is behind the house, there's that little wooded hill there. For the most part, it's houses and apartments, other than that little area right there. I definitely don't feel comfortable. I'm not necessarily as scared because the cops said that it seems like a targeted, isolated incident, and I sort of believe that based on the fact that 2 of the people in the house were unharmed. But yeah, obviously anyone that can just go out and kill 4 people is a danger to the community. And I sort of mentioned in the last interview I did that I hope that he's caught, preferably before I get back from Thanksgiving break.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely just an uneasy feeling being around there.
Small town feel, lots of hills, but it seems like a really close-knit community. All of my professors and stuff that are from here, seemed like they've been here for a decade or longer, and they seem to know just about everybody. So I would say it's a fairly small community.
My point is, did this crime really happen at night, in the middle of the night? That was my point. Everyone in these reports are saying, no, it was a quiet night, no party, nothing at all. So when did this crime really take place? You have to ask yourself, and you have to ask those unthinkable questions. Was this at night, or was this really in the early morning?
Even though there's roughly 20 to 25,000 people here. The officer that came by door to door, he asked if we had any sort of surveillance or if we knew about
Hear the dog barking in the background? That's his dog.
any other cameras or anything in the area. Sadly, this is an apartment building, and I'm assuming it's relatively old, so there was nothing. Luckily, the apartment sent out an email a couple days ago saying they're adding new lights, which there is a new light up there. They're going to work on installing cameras just so that if anything like this were to happen again, there's a better chance of getting footage of who did it. It seems like everyone that has been here for a while is just devastated by it. The last murder here was 2015, so 7 years ago. And so it's not something that happens frequently. It's not like we're in a big city where it's an everyday occurrence. So something like this is just sort of rare, doesn't happen often, so people aren't used to it. It's really odd because, I don't know, I've never been this close to any sort of other like crime scene before, I guess, other than like a drug bust, like walking by a house and seeing cops with like a drug bust. That's the closest I've ever been to a crime scene. So especially one of this magnitude where I could throw a baseball from my front door to the house, it's just odd. No, I went to bed early that night, and then I woke up to a bunch of normal, and then a couple hours later, we got a message, and there was a bunch of police here, and then that was the end of normalcy for the past week or so here. Though the day that the police were called here, about an hour or two after that, an officer came by and just went door to door along here, just asking if anybody had seen or heard anything. That's the only contact I've had with officers so far. Occasionally there were parties that were kind of loud. Most of the time it was pretty self-contained. But yeah, as I would take my dog in and out to go to the bathroom, I would just be walking by, I would look up and I would see people in the windows almost every night, probably 4 or 5 nights a week. So there were a lot of people that went into and out of that house pretty frequently. So yeah, it was kind of a party house, but again, this whole neighborhood is sort of like a party neighborhood because it's just off campus, so you sort of don't have to follow the university rules. I hope whoever did it gets found, because 4 people is not something that you just walk away from and act all normal. And so whether or not the cops think there's a danger, I disagree. I think there is a danger because 4 people shows that that person's dangerous. So I hope he's caught, preferably before I get back from break.
Thank you so much for watching. Please.
So he was the neighbor that could see balcony to balcony right in the area of the 1122. So that actually, I believe, is his dog barking. He is the law student in which, they basically say that he did give his DNA, guys. Nothing of that. And how safe do you think Moscow really is on a scale of 1 to 2, 1 being extremely safe and 2 being not ever safe? How safe do you think that Moscow is today after the Idaho 4? Drop a 1 or a 2. I want to get some feedback. When I looked in their window, I would see 2 people. Yeah, I think, from the street you can see people, but how could you see 1 or 2 people from a little ways away in the window? Well, remember the guy that I talked about a little bit? He's a realtor. I want you to listen to this, and he actually made a video on this. So let me change this out. And this is pretty interesting, folks. Listen to what he has to say.
It's probably because you heard of the tragic. If you're watching this video, it's probably because you heard of the tragic incident in 2022. And I don't blame you for wondering, is Moscow really a safe place to live? I'm Chris Carpenter, a longtime resident and real estate agent. And by the end of this video, I want you to have a confident answer to the question, is Moscow safe? We'll do this by looking at overall property crime rates, violent crime rates, and the frequency of incidents like the 2022 tragedy, and how those rates compare to other major cities, and areas that we commonly see people move to Moscow from. Let's start with the big picture. Violent crime in Moscow is exceptionally rare. In 2022, Moscow reported just 4 incidents of violent crime, including the tragedy that we're discussing today. To put that in perspective, that's less than 0.1%.
He reported 4, including the Idaho 4.
Of the population. Over time, Moscow has consistently ranked far below national crime averages. Violent crime here is about 75% lower than the US national average, and property crime, like vandalism, theft, or burglary, is about 35% lower. Moscow is a place where people feel safe letting their kids play outside or walk to school, leaving the door to their house or car unlocked, or walking their dogs at night. It's a place where people can truly enjoy a sense of community and peace of mind. But how does Moscow stack up against other cities? Well, take Seattle, for example, a city just 5 hours away. Seattle has a violent crime rate 6 times higher
Now
than that
let's
of
compare it to Seattle so that Moscow doesn't even look that bad. And yes, he's a realtor, so I do expect him to say that. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to look at some of the realting that's happening. Is that even a word? That's happening in that area. And lo and behold, they are clearing field lands, farmlands, and they are making homes. The average home is about 485 now in that area. It's happening all in Moscow, in Idaho, by the way. It even happened in Boise, in the area where I lived for 7 years. So, I mean, if you look at what's happening in Moscow, they're pushing out all the lower income people, all the retirees, and they are building communities that they want to see. But when they only do this, you know, and I'm going to say this, I'll probably need to have a stream about this. It's odd that a big church comes in, builds a big, massive $1 million community church in an old little town where the average person, was making probably 35 to 70,000. And now they've taken all this land and have purchased this land and have built these $639,000 homes, $700,000 homes. They've built $1 million homes in these lands that were farming at one time. And they are now looking at more professional people to come to the area. See, because this is what happens. A lot of people don't realize this. When a church comes into the area, they are attracting other people to come to that area and build that area up. But not only does it happen and benefit real estate, it also benefits the political landscape. If there's somebody that has been in a mayorship office for, let's say, 20 years, and now they've got a new mega church in and they want to influence the political landscape, what do? They kick everybody else out. They bring new people in, because if I can get 500 new voters to vote for the person that I want, we're going to get our agenda in office. We're going to get our person in office, and we're going to be able to get what we want out of this community, whether it's money, fame, fortune, whatever it is, they're going to get it. Because now that they have the voting on their side, they're going to vote out all the old fogies, all the good old boys, all the scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. And then that's what is basically happening. I could do a whole stream on that, but let's get back on track. So I wanted you to know and, get a little bit investigative in how it sounds like our government, a little bit investigative to how this happens in these areas, that they start developing these communities. They bring in a church that has millions of dollars in the middle of nowhere, funding, land grants. Farmers sell their properties because they no longer can farm. It gets too expensive. They're losing their property. And this is exactly what's happening, I believe, in all kinds of areas around the country. It's a way to attract voters, get what they want, etc. So how does that go and tie in with the body cams? Well, let me just tell you, we are going to talk about the redaction and hidden things in the Moscow, Idaho. So I'm going to start. This is Officer Snyder's body cam. And I'm going to start about where he starts to tape off down by the area about right here. And he notices beer cans right here or some type of things on the ground. Okay. Now, this is where you all need to have your full attention if you want to see some of these things. I have played this in 0.5 speed. I have muted it. There is no sound. I do not want to hear that ringing and that I can't take it. But I'm going to point some things out that I talked about before, like the underwear in the street that nobody's talking about. It's like the elephant in the room. Everybody walks by it. JD walks right by it. You know, if that was Kaylee's underwear, don't you think that he would know what kind of underwear Kaylee would wear? Or do you think that maybe that somebody would be able to identify someone's underwear there, right? I mean, Hunter, Ethan's twin, may have known what kind of underwear that um, Ethan was wearing, right? I'm just hypothetically saying, speculating that somebody had to have known something. But Officer Snyder, kudos to you. Shout out. Thank you for taking tons of pictures because we are going to look at the pictures he took. He leans over. He sees something. He looks around. He takes out his phone and he starts documenting what he sees. All right. He starts taking pictures like this, and I'm going to give you a few screenshots even before we get to what I want you to see, because this is the craziest thing that I have ever seen. Here's an example of some of the screenshots that we're going to see. Okay. This is just a little preview, because I want you to pay attention to some of the things that he sees in the naked eye while he's there that we may not have ever thought about looking at. Now, remember, I told you there was some clothes and there was a bra there. How do I know that? Because I've looked on other cameras. Okay. So he starts taking these pictures and he realizes there's more to the picture, to the scene, that is what is actually happening. Now, is Snyder on the inside of some of these guys that know what was going on? Probably not, allegedly, right? Some of these guys that are new to the force or have no idea what's going on are not privy to some information. And I'll give you an example. We were always told that Payne was the lead detective on this case, but in paperwork, in all the forensics and most of the reporting, it's Blaker. So, you know, the veteran, combat, warrior, Purple Heart, whatever his awards were, they put him front and center of this case. But behind the scenes, it was someone else running the show. So he starts looking around a little further, starts documenting and noticing things. He's the one that noticed the footprints. JD comes over to him when he notices that he's taking pictures of certain things, in my humble opinion. And then he tells JD, well, you know what, JD, what we're going to do? He's pointing that way towards the footsteps on the side of the fence. He's pointing, he's asking questions. And then eventually, he takes him over and puts him in the back of the police car. Okay. Because he doesn't want him interrupting. It looks like they're causing distractions, in my humble opinion. And I don't know if you've noticed this before, but this looks like Dylan was trying to control the narrative, the crime scene, and JD then comes over and starts asking questions, starts pointing at certain things, starts telling him things, and he eventually says, hey, look, son, you're going to come and sit in the back of this police car. Okay. Yeah, he was pointing to where he lives because he asked him some questions and this and that. But there are things over there on the side of that car that he was taking pictures of and got distracted. So then he goes back over to there, tells Gunderson, starts taking pictures of other things, ropes off a little bit more when Jack DeCoeur tells him, I live over there. Okay. You can go back and watch this, but this is like really important because he starts taking pictures. Now, when he gets back to the house and he's taking pictures, I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Takes pictures of inside the cars. And there was something in the back seat of Xana's car that has been well hidden. I don't know what was on the back seat of her car. In the other crime scenes, there's a lot going on. Okay, so they take a picture. He takes pictures all around. He takes pictures of back, footsteps, side. Now, what I said on when we were reviewing this the other day, and DA mentioned it last night on Birdies, is that I want to point out again, when you look at this, right, this back door at 1118, where Josie and Emily Allant lived at this time, per public records, this back door is, I don't know, you guys guess how close it is to this front door. How close do you think that was to their front door? I would say probably about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, maybe 35 feet at best, in my humble opinion. Maybe, I don't know. From that back door to the front door over at 1122, I would probably say, I mean, I have little feet too, so I don't know. Yeah, probably about 25, 30 feet in between there. Let's just say that. Okay, that's pretty damn close. And there is no camera anywhere around here. There are no cameras in between this house on the back side, and then again, you'll see on the side of this house, this back door right here onto this house. So he starts taking pictures because he's got an idea of where these back footprints may go along the edge of the fence and down where the snow has melted. Okay. So, I mean, it's easy. You can go right through here. And if you notice, some things have been knocked down in this picture, in my humble opinion. And you can cut right through these two houses and go right to the house where all 6 of those other roommates in the frat live, across the way at 1127. No security cameras, no ring cameras, no footage, nothing. So let's move right on along as he takes pictures. You can say he's taking pictures in the reflection of the snow where these footprints go. Some of them have disappeared. I would probably break my ankle trying to go that route, but it looks like some people have taken this route before by the way it looks like the rocks are. Okay, that, in my humble opinion, leave your comments, leave your thoughts. I'm showing you live. I'm showing everything that I see. There's other ways to come down this little thing into the backyard. Okay, so that was one step. Now, he starts to take pictures going into the house. One thing I want you to notice, for sure, there is a back door to that house and a side door. Okay, that is on King Road. Now, I want you to focus on where he is taking the pictures when he walks inside the house. He's not taking pictures of just the ground, folks. What is that on his phone? I searched this everywhere trying to figure out what is that picture on his phone. Here's a close-up picture, zoomed in. It looks like somebody in a polka dotted clown outfit. I mean, what is that? Is that his screensaver, whatever? Is that a clown? Did you guys see this? What is that? Is that, it's not the underhang. What is that? is it a, I can see where the roof is right here. The roof cuts there. I don't know what, is it a screensaver? Legos? I don't know what that is, but that's just creepy. Okay, so let me go ahead and let's get moving back to this. So he's taking pictures outside. And that was another screenshot I captured. I'll show you in a minute. It looks like a toy pegboard design. I thought it was a clown. That's a creepy clown. He starts taking pictures, guys, of up top. Look at where he's taking the picture with his phone. Dot man. I don't know what that is. Never seen it. Okay. Watch the way he moves. Watch the geometry, the edges, the light reflection. Watch how he moves through the house taking pictures. A Halloween costume could be it. He's taking pictures up high. Maybe the window, maybe the door frame. And then he starts taking pictures up high again. Blood splatter. Some of this stuff is redacted. Watch this as he walks through. This blew my mind. He's taking pictures of the inside of the doorway. And they have blurred out so much, guys. Blur, blur, blur. Something happened in this. And how do I know something happened here? Because the diagram that I posted on my YouTube, let me grab this real quick. You guys are going to flip out. There is a diagram that was made under my pictures. Here it is. And I'm going to grab it real quick so I can show it. Where did I put it? I hate when I organize things and then I can't find them. Here it is. This is crazy. Okay. I don't know who did this. Someone sent it to me. Shout out to whoever did this. I double checked it and it goes along with the forensic, yes, the forensic documents that we have been reviewing. This is north, south, east, and west, the way you're looking at the house. From the first floor, and you got to remember the way that they coded north, south, east, and west. The vacant room is to your right. Bethany's room is to the left of this entry. And then Maddie and Kaylee were obviously on the third floor. And then it gives you a really good diagram. If you, I could probably view in a little closer, but all this on the stairways is blood splatter that you see in orange. And that blood splatter aligns with the color-coded areas of exactly what you see, okay? Great diagram. Take a screenshot, go back and look at the forensics. You can piece it together. Somebody was injured on these stairs. There was blood on these stairs. There was blood from Xana in the hallway, in the doorway, on the bar cart, and little areas all over the area. Okay. And we can go through the forensics. But for now, I want to finish watching what he's taking pictures of because this is freaking creepy. And that is why I say, oh my God, how in the world? There's no effing way that we all miss this. Maybe because we didn't think about playing it in slow-mo. Here it goes. He starts taking pictures. Some of these things you're going to see, and some things you won't. So I've stopped it. I've screenshotted some of them that I found. It's the whole narrative deconstructed and just blown to smithereens. The whole narrative is busted. The whole narrative. Now, remember, the redaction is important for privacy. But he starts walking over here, taking pictures of the bathroom, which we've all questioned. and he starts taking pictures of the ceiling, the attic. In some of these slower motion pictures, maybe that was the point of entry. I don't know. This is speculation. Starts taking pictures of everything he can see, and then he starts taking pictures of the bedrooms, ceilings. It is wild. Cast off, correct. Yep. And remember, there was some bedding in the documents that were brand new, that were replaced maybe or used or something in that process. He comes back out, he starts going upstairs. Now, here is where you see it. Here is where they start. You can see some of the things he's going to share. Some. There was no blood found in the bathroom, correct? Somebody may have taken a shower. Super clean bathroom. Now, you are going to see things in his camera that they blur out in the video, but it shows up on his camera. There are things on this table that they have blurred out that he is going to take a picture of. There are things that they have blurred out on the wall that he is now taking a picture of. Okay? There's going to be a little spot of things that you can see on the table. I'm trying to do it as easy as I can. Okay? There are things on this table they have blurred out in some of the pictures and right here. And you're going to start seeing that maybe there is a body or there is blood pools in the table behind this, in on the floor behind this table. You're going to start seeing it. All right. They have blurred a lot of it out, and you'll see where the actual floor doesn't match what they've blurred out. Okay. There is something back here on the floor underneath this table, all around the backside, right in front of Dylan's door. Okay. You're going to start seeing little snippets, little pieces, and you can go back and look. Do you see all this red stuff here? You don't see the red stuff later. Now, there is a bag down there where the officer dropped the AED unit. He dropped it right there. But see how all this right by his glove on the top is all blurred out right here. Now, we know that there's blood on this cart that was Xana's. That was well documented. Okay. That was well documented when the forensics came out. So there is blood on this cart right here. That is Xana's. Look at his camera. He's taking a picture of the knife, of course. We see that. But there were other things on this table that were blurred out. Get ready. There is either a body there or a big, big gush of blood. There has to be. And I'm going to show you when he comes right back around. And I'm going to show, he's taking a picture of the bathroom. He comes right back around, and this is where they block it out. Whoever blurred this did not do a good job. So that's the bathroom with the washer and dryer, which there were some clothes in there, allegedly. I know I read that somewhere. I think it was in the documents that they seized them. And obviously they've blacked this out. He comes back over to the front room in a few minutes. I'm going to fast forward it a little. All right. And here they come around. Comes around with this camera. Here we go. Coming back to here. Now there's the bag here that's red. That's where the other officer dropped it. He's going to swing back around and you're going to look right here where they have blurred this entire area out. Do you see this down here on the floor behind, right underneath the ping pong table, all the way into where Dylan's room is right here? Can you guys see that blurring? That blurring, and I will take a picture of it real quick so you can see it. Let's see if I can do this. I'm going to add this here to my image. This is the area where they have seriously blurred, all right here. There is blood here. We know that from the documents. There is blood on the table that is Kaylee's. We know that from the documents. But all this blood down here, there's either a body here or a big blur pool of blood here. So whatever happened here, and someone has moved the table in the way. Okay? Now, that busts the whole narrative. Obviously, we knew they were not asleep. We knew that they were not in their beds. This blows away the whole narrative that they were indeed sleeping. They weren't sleeping. As hard as they fought, they weren't sleeping. So here we go. Back to the video. Watch what he does. Here comes his camera. They have blurred this out significantly. Can you all see that? Can you all see the black shading and the bright spot on the table? There are more items on this table, and I guess they didn't blur out this bottle because it wasn't there before. There is so much more on this table they have blurred out when he takes pictures. Now they blurred out some things. When he comes back around, you're going to notice there's like a phone or something or another knife on the table. They've blurred out everything down here in between this table and this cart and on the cart where there is blood. It's all blurry, like a body is there. Either a body or just blood everywhere. Now, I have to give you a warning. I have to give you a graphic warning because, no, it's not, Brian, because it does look like there is a body there. And it does look like where the EMT, in my humble opinion, dropped the AED right here by this table. He was trying to help the person right here. Okay? Because when I saw the officer that went in first, Nunez, he had the AED on his back. He hoofed it up the stairs and he went to go. Remember, this was the call for Xana. He went, hoofed it up the stairs. Why did he not go all the way into the room to see Xana? Why did they drop the AED bag right there by the table? Now tell me why that does not make sense. They drop the bag right there. See the AED bag right here? Did they drop it to see if this person needed assistance? In my humble opinion, I believe so. There is something here that either somebody has covered the body or there was a lot of mess here. Yeah, and I say they're playing hide and seek like a shell game with all their visuals. And these are things that we can see right here, plain as day, when you start looking for them. Look how blurred out the picture is right here where they drop the AED bag. Look at that. I can't believe this. Look at that. You know, I'm going to just say it. I'm not being facetious and I'm not being sarcastic. If you're here and I'm giving you some good information, please hit the thumbs up. 91 out of 256, we can do better. We can get to 200 at least. Even if you're just a silent watcher, hit the thumbs up. Thank you very much. We appreciate every single one of you. Share this with someone. Soaked in blood, maybe, possibly. But here comes the best part. All the blurring under here, I believe someone is under there. I believe you just saw a clear picture of the area. Someone is either under here, right here. See it? It's all blurred out. The table is put on top of the individual. Somebody dropped there. They have covered this, and I have covered this before. I have said in the pictures, and I made a video a while back. I can go back and find it. I made a video a long time ago. Someone was taking pictures of the crime scene the day it happened from one window to another window, and you could see the ping pong table in the window. It was moved to cover this and hide whatever is here. I have said this before. Watch his pictures as he takes these pictures of this table. There is something there they have blurred out. They've blurred it all out on the table. We know that for a fact because it is going to appear on his camera. Right there. There are other things on this table. There are other things on this table. Yes, a lot of people kept saying, "Why is a ping pong table right there in the way? Why is that there?" There's no way that Dylan ran past another body. They were never in the house at 2 a.m. They were seen leaving with 4 other girls. Busted checkmate. This blows their whole freaking case. This blows their whole freaking case, people. And like Amanda says, if you want off the naughty list, damn it, hit the button. I have Bill Thompson on speed dial. Cole and reindeer dropping cookies for you. Oh my gosh. No, most police departments do have phones they use when they're on duty. So it's not like it's crazy. Now, I think, and someone just said, remember, there were 3 black surgical masks. 3 black surgical masks that were used like COVID, right? Just those little black masks. And that makes sense what that could possibly be. Okay. And this is where they may have gotten more DNA. Obviously, with the forensics documents, there are reports that are missing. No surprise there, is there? No, report 42 is missing. There's a couple more that are missing. There are at least 40 reports that are missing that I know of in ISP. At least that we've caught so far. Yeah, that table was moved there with purpose, total purpose. There is something on that table that they have totally blurred out. Look at that. Now, please pay attention. Just give me your undivided attention for 1 second. Watch how Gunderson walks. Now, I have said this in the beginning. You have to watch their body movements. You have to watch how they speak slower. If you're listening to this, I'm not. It's on mute because I can't stand the sound. They treat the house as a potential active crime scene. They don't rush in with guns drawn. They go really slowly through the house like they already know someone's not in there. They don't yell or yell out, police, what do they shout? Clear, really aggressively, okay? They don't do this in the footage when you listen at regular speed. These are other key indications that the movement in the silence reviews, it reveals that the officers had prior knowledge to what was going on before they turn on their body cams. All right. Now, I know in some cases, officers don't turn on their body cams. They assess the scene, in my humble opinion, allegedly, and then they go in and turn on body cams and they know what to avoid. But watch as Gunderson, in my humble opinion, maneuvers his way around what he has just seen. Okay? Watch how he walks past this individual, blood, whatever it is. I think it's a body, in my humble opinion. Watch how he maneuvers his body off and away. Here we go. Watch him. And there he goes to take a picture of whatever has been blurred out on the phone. Can you see all that blurring? There it is. And there's more. Look at this blurring that has taken place on the phone. Gunderson just gave it away the way he moved his body. Okay? Not only did he, there's other officers, if you go back and watch the video, right in this area between the kitchen, Dylan, and the front room, you will see everyone has walked a certain way. Blurred, doesn't match the floor. That is blurred out for privacy. That is Dylan's room. Exactly. You will see a little more. You know me, I give it all to you. You're getting it all. They have redacted some of the things on the steps. I don't think they ever made it upstairs, in my humble opinion. Because when Dylan said the whole, I don't think anyone really ran down the stairs. I don't think she ever saw anyone run down the stairs, in my humble opinion. I just don't. I don't know how when she was, not even in the house. It looks like, and there you go, Brenda. That's what I saw. If you go back and play this through, you will probably see what I see. And if you have the ability to record this on slow motion and drop it in a program where you can make it go even slower, you will see a lot more. A lot more. They blur out kitchen. I don't know why, if there was medication, personal items. They blur out the back patio. They blur out the floor here in the kitchen. They blur out a lot. And there was a lot of people walking through this crime scene. A lot. A lot of redactions, a lot of hidden things. I've got some screenshots for you. You can go back and watch these, and then you'll realize, holy moly, there's so much more. Here's a really good shot that I grabbed of what they blurred out here in the hallway. And I've always wondered why Dylan, I thought she said poor Kaylee. And I think maybe somebody never made it there, never made it past the stairs. There's Gunderson. They've blurred all this out right here. He walks very strategically on one side of the walkway. He knows what's right there on the floor. Very strategic. Here's another picture that I grabbed in slow motion. There is something over where the MPD door, there is something here all on the side of the table that looks like a body slumped over, like in the fetal position, in my humble opinion. So just a disclaimer. You can go and you can look at all this footage on your own, including I don't know if that's a clown or not. Don't know. You can go and look at all the pictures that I have found. All I did was take a screenshot of it. That's all I did. There's not much other than all the redaction. Why did they redact? Now, let me ask you this question. Do you think, after what I just showed you, that there could actually be a body underneath that ping pong table? Drop a 1 for yes or a 2 for no. Do you think there's an actual body under that ping pong table? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Because if that's the case, there is no case against Brian Koberger. There is no case, in my humble opinion. Now, I'm going to show you one thing that I know there's going to be some skeptical people in here, and I humbly respect whatever it is that you believe. But I'm going to show you something that I saw that made me think twice about this whole entire Moscow, Idaho 4. Okay. Now, I need every single one of you in here to clear your thoughts, have an open mind, and let me say this. I always say this before the stream. We think differently. We ask questions, and we want to know the truth. That's what we're here for. If you've enjoyed this stream, consider subscribing. I'm going to put out some, member only info. And I want to be very cautious in what I'm about to say, because I know that a lot of people are going to go back and say, oh my God, can you believe this? Can you believe that this person? No, it's what has been shown to us. And I want to show you what I saw last night. And I want to get a feedback from you guys, because I'm not always right. Sometimes I'm wrong. And it's okay to be wrong, because it brings the discussion around. What possibly could this be? Okay. Yeah, there was forensic knowledge that Kaylee's blood was on that table. They didn't give any forensics on any of the testing of the knives, which I find really odd. Just another thing that is missing. Now, let me tell you this. Let's watch this video together. And I know what I think I saw. I want to know what 288 of you think. It's going to go slow. They redacted when he walks right into, hold on a minute. He walks right into the house. On the wall, I'm going to stop it. Before he walks in, there is something on the other side of this wall. And they have blurred it out. It's right here in the middle of this screen. And I want you to keep your eye on this, because they're going to blur it out again. But I caught a glimpse of what I thought I saw it was. Okay. It's going to come up in a minute, or under a minute. They didn't redact the whole thing. And you might miss it if you don't look. It's right when he walks in. He's already walked in, and he's already turned back around. And see this pink thing right here? Does anybody see that? Drop a 1 if you see the pink thing on the door. Right when you walk in. Right when the officer walks in. They've redacted it. And I thought, what the heck is that? They've redacted it a few times in this scene. And I kept going back to try to slow it down, look again, try to see what it is. And I finally got a good enough image to try to figure out what it was. Does anyone want to take a guess? That's what it is that I found. Does anyone want to take a guess what that is? A bullet hole? I don't know. Blood? A sticker. I thought it was a sticker. Gunshot marker? Let me do a search for a gunshot marker. Gunshot marker. It's pink. No, I don't know if it's a gunshot marker, but it does look like one. It does kind of look like one. Brain matter? Oh, come on. Things that hang robes? No, I don't think so. Blood splatter? Pink post-it? Gum? I don't know if that's gum. It's a hat from the hanging rack? No, it's not. It's just a gunshot where keys were hanging. It's on the other side of the wall. An exit from a gunshot? I don't know. Skin? I don't know. A hole filled with something? I thought it was a bullet hole. I don't know. Huh. I thought it was a sticker. I could be wrong. I mean, maybe a blood droplet. Sauce from McDonald's. It had a circle around it. Square. It seems square. I put it through ChatGPT, and this is what it told me. A fingernail, a tongue, SFK, gum. It's pretty large for a bullet hole. This is what it told me. It was a sticker. I think it points to where a body slid down the wall. Insulation. Oh, that's a good one. Insulation. Well, y'all, I'm going to have to go back down this rabbit hole because y'all know me. If it doesn't make sense to me, it probably doesn't make sense to someone else. I don't know what it is unless they tell us what it is. And how can they tell us what it is if they're not sharing anything? Because it'll fall the narrative apart. It will fall apart. Now, Bertie and I, in the beginning of this, I pointed out to him the freaking hand on the window and the hand in the car. And he did an overlay. Okay? You can't make this shit up. You just can't. Now, do you guys remember the Bertie video that he did the overlay? Drop a 1 if you remember that. That was a while back. That was a while back. It wasn't when he cropped out. Let me see if I can find the video. It was a match. Let me see. This is insane. Bertie, where is that video? Let me see. I think I sent it to him. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, here is the video Bertie made. Here you go. Don't laugh. Don't say we're crazy. Let's just take a look at this with an open mind and let's see if any of this makes sense. All right. Here we go.
Look at that. That's a. How effing weird is this, guys? Look at that. That's a handprint. It's a news article that posted these photos. This is less than a month after it.
There is a crime scene picture of the handprint like this on the sliding glass door. You can see the CSI team looking to get a, like they're using their dusting tool or whatever. There is a crime scene photo of the sliding glass back door, and the crime scene guys are looking at it and it's taped off.
That's wild. How is there a handprint like that? That's clearly placed. This is done on purpose. There is no other smudges on this window. And there are no other smudges on this window.
Somebody's watching me.
Okay, so is that a coincidence that this might be this sticker? And what does this lead you to? Maybe, is it possible? Does anybody realize what that sticker means? Anyone at all? I know you don't do TikTok. That's why I share this. Does anybody remember this? Is this even possible? Exactly. It was the guy with the frats. The guy with the frats, right? I mean, look at this. Is that even possible? Is this their possible calling card? Is this what we have been watching? Is it even possible? Think about it for 1 second. Keep an open mind to what I've just shared. Please, don't discount it. Is this a calling card? These are things that we talk about. Is it a calling card? Because listen to this.
Star athlete at his high school. Now he was a star athlete at his high school. Now he's gone. His parents say he took his own life after being bullied in a college fraternity hazing. And we want to warn you, the images in this report are intense.
It's a college fraternity hazing sending shockwaves across America. Authorities say this freshman was tortured as his fellow frat brothers extinguished cigarettes on his chest and speared his leg with a fishhook. 18-year-old Sawyer Updike's parents say a nonstop cycle of abuse drove their all-American son to suicide.
He was that kid that everybody loved to have around. He certainly was loved by so many people.
Sawyer was a freshman at the University of Texas at Austin and pledged the Sigma Chi fraternity. His family says that's when his hazing nightmare began. They provided disturbing videos showing other pledges in agony as a cigarette is stubbed out on one guy's wrist and on another's chest. They spoke with Allison Hall.
I saw the video of others burning his chest.
People burning his chest with cigarettes?
Yes.
This sounds like torture.
It was torture. It was absolutely torture.
In court papers, his family alleges he was whipped, beaten, and allegedly forced to consume excessive amounts of alcohol and drugs. A lawsuit filed by Sawyer's parents claims that frat boys threatened to sexually assault Sawyer's girlfriend if he didn't do exactly as he was told. His parents say that drugs and brutality triggered a psychological crisis, and after 5 months of pledging torture, Sawyer took his own life.
They broke him down little by little.
The university says it has ordered Sigma Chi to cease all activities.
It's horrible. No parent should have to see what happened to him. No child should have to endure that, period.
UT Austin told they do not tolerate hazing by any group or individual affiliated with the university. Meantime, the national chapter of the fraternity says its investigation resulted in the closure of that local chapter and the expulsion of several members.
There you go. So, is it possible? Is this even a thing? Could we be going down the wrong rabbit hole, or have we hit the nail on the head? And the whole theory that Brian Kohberger is factually innocent is true.
Brian has been essentially convicted in the media. He has a right to have this information withheld, brought out in public, so that people can see it's not this neat little package. So people can start to wonder if Brian's innocent. Your Honor, Brian is innocent. So if I talk about things that are in the affidavit, and if I talk about things that we're seeking that the state wants to hide, I think that's fair game for the public to hear.
So as we leave this stream today, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, share this with one individual, leave your thoughts, your comments, your criticisms. I don't care if my eyebrows look like I drew them on with the Sharpie. That's my problem, not yours. Everybody, stay safe, be well. Thank you so much for being here today. Drop a lot of love for our mods. Until my next stream, bringing you new facts and evidence, Phoenix out. Be well. And do me a real quick favor. Drop a lot of blue hearts for Brian that's sitting in prison and maybe factually innocent. More to come on that too. Be well.
Snow is falling on the city street, a quiet hush, a frozen beat. December air, sharp and cold, a story waiting to be told. We gather round with fading light, seeking truth to make things right. Every shore, we're knocking on justice's door. Oh, hear the call, the freedom ring, stand tall. The sweetest night, our voices raise for justice in these coming days. Let truth like a river flow. Some promises were left to break, for every dreamer wide awake. But in the cold of fire burns a lesson that the heart burns. From every valley, every door, we're asking, what are we fighting for? Only the people hear the call, every overtaken stands now like a race for justice and freedom. From every valley, every door, we're asking, what are we fighting for? Only the people hear the call, every overtaken stands now like a race for justice and the flow. For the silenced and the lost, we remember the cost. For the future we must build a promise to be fulfilled.